Hi Quilters, I'm Shelley Robson from the Quilted Forest, and I am here with my Moda rep and friend, Doug Leko. He is the designer behind Antler Quilt Designs. So thank you for doing this interview with us.
Absolutely.
We
Welcome to my
hope to get
house.
to know you a little bit better today.
Come on and check out my sewing room, Shelley.
All right. I love seeing other people's sewing spaces. Ooh, a pretty quilt right off the bat.
Yeah, so I will change that out and swap out different quilts often.
And what kind of quilt rack do you have?
That one I made.
Really?
Yeah, pieces from Home Depot, Menards.
Very cool.
And then I have a fun cutting table that I knew I wanted for like piecing borders, backing, things like that. So it's kind of nice just to have that for the space.
It's really long.
And the flat surface.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And then I got this fun church pew from a friend, and I had always wanted one, and so I always use it to collect bolts of fabric now. So when I'm selling the fabric and I just can't live without it, I'll end up getting a bolt of it and ordering it. And
Yeah, there's a lot of fabric you can't live without.
there's a lot of fabric, yes.
What book is this from?
That's a single pattern.
Single pattern?
Yeah, it's called a Black Tie Affair.
Oh, it's beautiful. And the fabric at the bottom looks really good with it.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what else you have in your studio.
Okay, and then I always kind of have like a working table. This is what I always keep the projects on. And then I'll usually I'll have new bundles, or I'll have new things that I'm trying to decide what to do with. And then this is my work in progress, because you never know, and you never know what's going on. So sometimes you want to switch projects because you get bored with it.
Absolutely.
And then like the folders are always kind of like brand new things still to come, but kind of planning and plotting, as I like to say. And then I have my ironing board that I love, and I have my cutting station. So this is kind of like my general area when I'm always working. Which kind of, I would say, like my little triangle. It's all right here.
You were telling me that you had this ironing board specially made.
I did. So it fits the cabinet, the size. So when we had our store, I fell in love with our big ironing board, and you don't have the point on it or anything. So it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
And you had it specially made.
I did. I did have it specially made.
Tell us that story.
And I went into a metal fabricator close to where I live, and I said I needed an ironing board made, and he just kind of laughed it off. And so
he didn't take you seriously.
He did not take me serious.
But he made it for you.
He did, and he did a great job. So, and then I have my cutting table. We should got a quilt on it right now, but I have my cutting table, and it's kind of nice just to have everything. Sometimes I'll switch the ironing and the cutting, and then I have a little sitting area that I'll bind in front of, or I'll do work in front of, sitting there.
Contemplate your next project.
Yes, yes. And then definitely have my coffee station for my coffee.
Gotta have coffee.
Gotta have coffee. Yep. And then these are this is my new machine that I just got, the Juki, the DDL 8700.
That looks heavy duty.
It is. Yeah, it's their industrial side, so it's really kind of fun. Very fun.
I bet that goes fast.
Yeah. Yes. Very, very fast. It can go through many layers of leather. So, I don't sew any leather, but you know, I was.
Well, you have the opportunities now.
I do. Yeah. If I ever get bored.
Do quilters get bored?
No,
I haven't met one that does.
I have not. So, and then I have a couple sewing stations. So when friends come over, they have stations that they can sit down and use. And
awesome.
yeah, kind of.
So how many people have you had sewing down here at one time? What's the most
8.
Number?
We had 8. Yeah, kind of push everything aside and have 8 people here. So
that sounds like a party.
It is. It's a lot of fun.
Sounds like a party. And then tell me about your giant.
And then I have the design wall. I love this design wall, so I'll put up a quilt, or I'll lay out blocks, or I'll just audition fabrics. And so it's wonderful. They don't make this fabric anymore. It's an old Maywood Studios. We had it at the store, and so I knew I wanted to leave a space open in the sewing area for the design wall.
It's fabulous to have something so big that you can really lay out a giant quilt.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll turn it sideways, or sometimes if the quilt's large enough, we'll go on the floor.
So it's not connected to the wall?
Yeah, it is at the top.
Okay.
There's brackets on the back. So.
Awesome.
And it's just pink styrofoam with the wood frame.
So you can pin into it and everything?
Yeah, pin into it, and yeah, everything sticks right to it. It's because it's the flannel, so it's nice.
Excellent. All right, and then you have a working desk in the corner?
Working desk in there, yeah, where I do all the...
You have everything you need down here.
Not very fun things.
Yeah.
Yes. the
Well,
not
you
glamorous
know.
side of the job.
Yeah, you got to work.
Yes.
Got to work to pay the bills.
Yep.
Thanks for the tour.
Thank you.
Let's do a quick trunk show and have Doug show some of his patterns from your book, Stash-tastic 2. Great book. We have it in the store. Let's see some of the quilts.
Perfect. So the first one, we'll start with this one, is in there, and it's a 2.5 inch, and on the back corner, oh, right here, is the name, and it's Pathways. There's always so many names, so hard to keep them all.
What fabric line did you use for this quilt?
This one, there was actually all mini charms.
All mini
And so all
charms.
different mini charms on this one. And so there's like Coriota in there, there's Robin, there's Zenchic in there.
So
Yeah, lots
nice
of different.
cross section. Great for mini charms.
Yep.
You could also cut up charm packs.
You can cut up charm packs or layer cakes or 2.5 inch strips.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Beautiful.
This is the cover quilt. This is called Sparkler. And this is really kind of fun. This again is a charm pack. So I grabbed all my Jen Kingwell charm packs over the years, and this has no repeats in it.
Really?
Yes.
Every single fabric's different?
Yep.
Oh, cool. And you got to see the quilting on this. This is gorgeous. Look at the quilting. Concentric circles and stuff. Oh,
I think it's called
Really?
Raindrops.
very fun.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Okay.
All right, next quilt.
And this is probably one of the bigger ones. This one's called Framed. Oops, sorry.
Whoops.
And this is probably one of the bigger ones in the book.
Oh my, it is huge.
And this one, I combined kind of a woven homespun, and then with a printed fabric line.
Beautiful. And this kind of has swirls for the quilting. Very nice. I'll grab this one. And what do we have here?
This one's really fun. What's that one? The Radiant Wreaths.
Is it right side up?
Yep.
This one can go any direction, can't
yes,
it?
any directions. And this one, the more fabrics and the more scraps you have, the better.
Beautiful. So these fabrics in here remain the same.
Yes, the centers are all the same right here, and then you have all different strips in here.
Which designer did you use for these fabrics?
This one has a whole bunch. So this one's a mix of, again, like Ruby Star, there's Zenchic, Crystal Manning in here, a whole bunch of different variation, the variety of the designers.
Beautiful. And we have one more.
One more.
Whoops, I'm sorry, the quilts are on the floor.
That's fine. They just go on the pile, so it's good. This one was a fun spool one. I didn't realize how much people love spools. And then so I knew when we were doing this book, I needed to have this as a bigger quilt. It started off as a runner.
We have a runner at the shop.
Yes. Yep.
In this.
Yep.
Love it.
So it's kind of funny because all your centers are strip pieced, and then, yeah.
And such a simple design and so effective.
Yep.
And every quilter has spools of fabric.
Exactly.
So,
And it's fun with the batiks, you get such a different variation, and then the scrappy binding as well.
yes.
Yes.
That's a fabulous trunk show. Doug, how long have you been designing patterns?
I've been designing patterns since I was 14. And so probably about, 16 years now?
Nice. And the name of your pattern company?
Antler Quilt Design.
How many patterns do you have?
I have over 100 single patterns and about 24, 25 self-published books.
I didn't realize it was that many. Wow. How did you get your start into the business of designing patterns?
When we had our quilt shop, our rep at the time for Moda was encouraging me to get into it, and she kind of was like, "You'll love the industry, it's a great industry," and it just was kind of a big snowball after that. So after doing many books with her and then doing several single patterns, and it was just kind of one of those that turned into a career.
Nice.
Definitely a big snowball.
It's an excellent career
Yeah.
for you. What are your favorite types of fabrics to sew with?
Oh, kind of like the low volume backgrounds. It can't really discriminate on the fabrics because it changes the taste to a lot. So it depends. Sometimes, it might be, it could be very traditional, it could be very modern, it could be very soft, but then it also could be, you just want something very tonal, something bright and cheery.
How do you pick the palette of the fabric to use for any particular pattern?
That depends on the day. I find some days I'll want something bright and cheery, happy, and then some days it's like, okay, let's just do something more subdued, a little bit calmer.
Where do you get your inspiration?
Kind of like from the traveling and the talking to people, and a lot of it is just kind of from the landscape and the architecture.
How long does it take to get from design inspiration to finished pattern or book on the shelf?
Oh, a single pattern can take like a week or two, but as far as like getting it written and edited and then printed is a couple weeks. But then as far as like sewing the sample, that could take a little bit longer. But then as far as a book will take anywhere from 6 months to a year, just from time you come up with the concept to the printed book, because it takes a long time usually. The longest part is, again, sewing the samples.
Absolutely. It takes a while to get those quilts done. You're not only a quilt designer, you are also my fabric rep for Moda, United Notions. So tell me about your work as a fabric rep.
So I have been a fabric rep since 2018, and I just absolutely love it. It's fun because every day is somewhere different, whether you just get in the car and you go, and sometimes you're going to, the UP of Michigan, or you're going down to Iowa to see you. You really kind of just go all over the place, and it's always a different scenery. So that's the nice part. It's never like the same place every day and the same four walls. It's always something different. The weather's different every single day, and the stores are always different. So that's the nice part.
You get to see a lot of different faces.
A lot of different faces. Yes.
So how many quilt shops are in your region, and what kind of territory do you cover?
So I have 115 accounts, and it always fluctuates. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But normally that's about a good average. And I'll cover southern Minnesota, northern part of Iowa, and then I will do the UP of Michigan, and then western Wisconsin.
So really good area to
Yeah,
cover. A
yeah.
lot of miles on
A lot
your
of
car.
miles. Yeah, a lot of miles.
What's your favorite part about working for Moda?
Oh, the fabric.
The
Playing with
fabric.
the fabric every single day. Yeah, I always joke like we peddle fabric.
Yeah.
That's what we get to do is peddle fabric. So, and then it's you get to bond with that fabric or the lines, and after 12 weeks, sometimes you're happy to see them go, and then sometimes it's like, oh, I could keep selling these. I love.
Absolutely.
Yes.
There's fabrics I wish I could reorder from 10 years ago,
Yes. Yes.
but you can't.
No.
So then you have to find new pretties to play with.
Exactly, and that's the thing. There's always so many fabrics, and it's always like it's always there's a new release, and there's always something different coming. So that's the nice part.
So how many lines are in a release usually?
Between 20 and 30.
So how many fabrics is that?
Usually about 1,000 SKUs every time they release, and we release 5 times a year.
That's a lot of
That's
fabric.
a lot of fabric, yeah. It's a lot of fabric.
It's a lot of fun, pretty stuff to play with too. So as a pattern designer, you use a lot of Moda Fabrics for your samples. Do you have a favorite designer from Moda?
It changes a lot, but a lot of times it will be like basic gray. It'll be Lisa Bonjean, Primitive Gatherings. It really again kind of goes back to like what the favorite color depends on what's new and exciting, and yeah, sometimes it's Ruby Star. Sometimes it's a flannel line that even though I don't like sewing a flannel, it's flannel line. It's just really pretty.
It kind of depends on the palette they use sometimes, and they switch it up, and it is always fun to see what the different designers come up with for their fabric lines.
Yes.
And it's really interesting when they totally change your color palette too, because sometimes it's like, oh, now I like it.
Yeah, or that's more of the same, or
Exactly.
Yes.
Do you have any patterns or books coming out in the near future?
I do. I have a book I'm working on. It's called Flyover that will be out this summer. And I have a couple other single patterns that I'm working on. And then there's another book I'm helping a friend produce. And yeah, so always stuff in the works.
Excellent. We like to hear that there's new stuff coming from you.
Oh, yes.
How can people find you online? Do you have any social media accounts?
So there's you can find me at Antler Quilt Design on Facebook or DOUG LEKO on Facebook. Also on Instagram at DOUG LEKO.
So I first met you when you were a young man working for your mom at her quilt shop. And how did you get interested in helping out there?
It was, I remember my mom came home one day. She had just gotten laid off from another job and said it was always kind of like a dream. And she had a folder of, if I ever opened a quilt shop one day, here's everything that I want or what I want to do. And so I remember like one day she came home, she's like, we're starting a quilt shop. And she opened up the folder, dumped everything out, and like that kind of started everything. And I was, 9, 10, I had no idea what she was doing or what was going on. And we had frequented a couple local quilt shops, but had no idea. And then it was just kind of one of those when you start getting involved and seeing, and my dad built the shelves and mom would get all the fabric, and it would be like, okay, this is kind of fun. And yeah, and everybody bringing stuff in, it was like, okay, yeah, great inspiration.
Excellent. Yeah, I had gone in the quilt shop. We had visited on a bus tour.
Okay.
Very nice quilt shop.
Thank
Loved
you.
it.
Thank
And
you.
meeting your mom was always fun. So tell us about your workspace here, Doug.
So the workspace, I have my koala that I love. I was talking with a friend the other day. They don't make them anymore.
Oh,
I
no.
know. So, but I have my sewing table. I love my sewing table. And then this is kind of always just a project to fill in the gap. But then also I put on there things that I'm working on. So it will be like whether a new project I need to cut out, current project, and then like the leftovers. I won't get rid of those until the top is done. And then I need to finish sewing some wool pennies on one of those projects, and then I have stuff kind of lined up, ready to go. That's in the planning process still.
So is it always this clean, or did you clean for
No, I
us?
cleaned because usually it's a pile, and there's many piles. So
Yes.
yes, I did clean.
That's good.
But yeah, I do like to clean. After I get done with the big project, I will go through and just clean.
Yes. It's important to kind of refresh the workspace so you can
Yes.
dive into the new projects.
Yes. But I always like to try to at least keep my table clean, so that when you're working on stuff, you have space to spread out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. As quilters, we always tend to fill up any space we are given.
Very true. We can fill every space with fabric or sewing supplies, whatever we want, really.
Yeah.
Doug, are you ready for the lightning round?
I am.
All right, so I'm going to ask some questions. Give us a simple answer because we want to get to know the real Doug.
Okay.
All right, so favorite time of year?
Oh, probably summer now. Used to be
Summer.
winter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you are in Minnesota, so you're
Yes.
allowed to like both. Favorite drink?
Oh, probably. I love water. I drink a lot of water. Yes.
No favorite coffee drink?
Oh yeah, coffee. Yeah, water and coffee.
Water and coffee.
Yes,
All right.
water and coffee for sure.
All right, mountain or lake?
Oh, probably the lake.
The lake. Minnesota again. Dog or cat?
Dog.
Favorite type of music to listen to?
It kind of mix goes. I'm in the car so much. It's just a mix. I'll listen to any of them.
So radio or channel? Like,
Yeah, a lot of Sirius, like Sirius
Okay.
XM.
okay.
From that, yeah.
Cake or pie?
Pie.
Favorite holiday?
Oh, probably Christmas.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Favorite color?
Red.
Oh, mine too. Favorite day of the week and why?
Oh, probably Fridays. Just
'Cause
because,
Fridays-
just kind of wrapping up everything and ready for the next week and get to
And it's
downtime
Friday.
a little bit. And it's Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Text or talk?
Text.
Okay. Big city or small town?
Big city.
I kind of expected that one. Favorite junk food?
Oh, hot tamales.
Hot tamales.
Yes.
Cinnamon. Oh. Favorite
Yes.
ice cream flavor?
Oh, probably cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Middle name?
Michael.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning person. Early.
How early?
About 3 or 4.
Oh my goodness.
This week it's been about 3 a.m.
Favorite TV show or series to binge watch?
Oh, I put MASH on a lot. The Golden Girls in the background. Friends. Yeah.
All
Put a
the
lot
good
of them on in
ones.
the background, and just something you don't have to watch. You know exactly
Yes.
what's going to happen, and
You can
Yeah.
see the good parts.
yeah,
Absolutely.
and then just go back to whatever you're doing.
Absolutely. Favorite author or type of book to read?
Audiobooks usually kind of like the biographical ones, and just kind of just let them kind of talk and do that. But usually in the car, that's usually when I'll listen to them.
It's a good time to listen
Yeah.
to books because
Yeah.
you're kind of
You got
captive
windshield time.
audience.
Yes.
Yeah. Anything interesting about you that we don't know?
I love to travel.
Love to travel.
Love to travel. So that's where a lot of
No, I know you've been to Europe a couple times.
Been to Europe, many times. But even traveling, like in the States, driving around, the inspiration, you get a lot of that with the traveling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's one fun fact most people don't know about you.
Oh. I have a sister. Yes, a lot of people don't realize I have a sister.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, older sister.
Older
Yeah,
sister.
she's 2 years older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did she work at the shop too?
For special events. When
Okay.
we had stuff, but then as soon as like the bus had left or the event was over, she was out of there.
She was
She didn't
gone.
want to be there. Yeah, she didn't want to be there.
She'd help out, but that was it.
Very, yeah.
So she's not in the industry at all.
No.
Does she quilt?
No, she has a sewing machine, but no, it's battery operated. So she,
Okay.
yeah,
All
she
right.
does not
So you're
quilt. She
you're the
knits
one.
or she crochets. She's really into the animals right now.
Oh, fun.
The crochet animals.
Fun. So you have your own hobbies. But
Oh
you could-
yes, she's very creative.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, your mom is too.
Yeah.
How long did she have a shop?
We had it just over 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Just over 7 years. Yeah.
It's a good long
Yes.
road for a shop owner. And it was called,
Silver Lane Quilting.
was located in,
Forest Lake.
Forest
and then we had we started off in New Brighton.
Okay, so
Minnesota.
2 locations?
Yep. No, just one, but we moved.
Okay.
So we had 2 different ones. But, yeah.
2 different locations that you were in. And when was she open? From?
2005, we did 2011.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I went to several retreats, I think, with her. She's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Loved her.
Oh, yes, she's a character.
Yes. No, apple doesn't fall far from the tree, baby.
Yes. Sometimes it gets us in trouble.
I can see that.
Yes. Or we butt heads because, so similar.
So similar. Very much alike. Okay.
Yeah.
Here are some photos of his beautiful, mostly finished remodeled home and studio. He told me his favorite quote is, "Oh, the places you'll go," which definitely suits him because his favorite hobby is traveling. He also told me that the most influential person to him and his career has been his mom, who he says, quote, "always is supporting me and encouraging more and different." You can find his patterns, books, and tools at the Quilted Forest or your local quilt shop. Besides writing great patterns and books, he is a wonderful fabric rep who is generous with his knowledge and information. I also wanted to show you Doug at work. We recorded this in July of 22, a fabric appointment that we had at the Quilted Forest. All right, I'm here with Doug Leko. He is my Moda rep, and we are going to pick some fabric today. So let's see what Doug brought us.
Very good. We will begin. So everything is always future. So we have always lots of projects we like to show with the fabric.
And so I'm looking at fabric that's going to come out
In October,
October?
November, and December.
November, December. Okay.
Yes.
So this is all later in the year.
Yep.
And it's July right now. So
Yes.
we're always seeing fabric way ahead.
Yes. Because we take your order and then we go to print with it, and then it shows up in the stores for the customers to buy.
Fabric appointments generally take 1.5 to 2 hours. So explain what the dots mean on the selvage.
So on the selvage, we obviously have the name, the company name, and then a quote. A lot of times the Moda lines will do the quotes, and then the little SKU number. Now the SKU number just indicates the design number, not the color, but you'll see a dash often. But then also you have the circles, and these will come in different shapes, and sometimes we do different, the designer gets to pick a shape. The standard is just circle, and these all indicate all the colors that are on the fabrics. So if you want to match anything in the fabric, you can always pull out the selvage, and the selvage will always have those colors on there. You can match easy. So it's a cute little trick.
Now, does this have anything to do with how many screens it goes through?
So then each dot represents a screen that they would use.
So if there's only 4 dots filled, it only needs 4 screens.
Yep, 4
but
screens.
If all the dots are filled, that was a lot of work.
That was a lot of work. A lot of screens, a lot of different design elements to it. I believe they can go up to 18 screens.
Wow.
It might have changed it, but yeah, I believe
That's
last time it was
impressive.
18 screens.
Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that.
Yep.
Moda, the company that Doug works for, always has a lot of great designers and fabric collections.
It's from April Rosenthal. So you got some fun blenders in here, as well as her fun floral, nice
twinkle.
and bright and cheery. Yep, all new twinkle colors. So there's several new ones in here. Good multicolor background.
Yeah.
Always looking for those fun stripes. This stripe is selling really well.
Yeah.
And then kind of a nice little over piece.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah. Very cheery.
This is very cheery.
This is
It's
a
almost
November
a
group,
cross between 30s and brights. Like they threw those two together and they had a baby and it was this.
Yes. And for a November group, we start to get dark and we want something bright and cheery to kind of keep summer alive, basically up here, and
yeah,
it does that.
This will make you smile.
Yes.
Okay, so it's starting to pile up.
Yes.
Yeah.
we always try to do somewhere between 20 and 30 lines every release, so the pile grows. Sometimes when I'm sitting on the other side, you can barely see me.
Yeah. That's true.
I'm not the tallest, so it's a little height challenge.
How many SKUs are in a line?
So a line will range anywhere from, we've had like 22, let's just say up to 40, 42 pieces. And a locale, what we did is we created that, so it's a pre-selected group of prints of SKUs, and it's 20 that are coordinating together, and you get them on 10-yard bolts. So a little bit smaller yardage on a bolt, but they're all pre-selected and pre-grouped.
So a little less of an investment, so that maybe instead of getting just one line, I can get locale of 2 different ones to have more fabric.
Yes,
so.
And you can still tell a story, and you always get one of everything basically of each print, and it's a nice option for a lot of stores.
Excellent.
Yes.
All right, and I'm assuming Pre-cuts are available on all of
Pre-cuts
these.
aren't. Oh yes, we started the pre-cuts and they are always on everything.
He's not done yet.
Not done.
Not done. It's gonna be higher.
It sometimes seems like the fabric suitcase is bottomless, but eventually he does run out of fabric.
So that is everything we have for this release.
That's all.
That's all. That's all.
That's hardly anything, Doug.
I know. Not much to choose from.
Not much to choose from. Now we have to consider what is going to be coming into the shop. And that's the hard part.
That is the hard part.
Because you want it all.
Yes.
You just can't have it all.
And every store is different, and you get to see everything at Moda. We always like to make sure we get to show you every single thing, and you pick what's right for the store.
Doug makes my life difficult because he brings me so many beautiful fabrics, and this is the pile he gives me, and this is the pile I can buy.
Yes.
So I have to weed through and figure out priorities, and because you can always buy more later.
Always buy more later. Yes.
You have to make decisions, and that's what's hard about this. So
you gotta twist your arm a little bit. Yes. Weed through, and we always will divide and conquer as far as take out the ones we know we're not going to look at, and then we'll put this aside and we can sort by month.
Bye bye, pretty fabric. Well,
if you win the lottery,
I would buy everything, Doug. If I won the lottery, I would buy everything. Doug would be like...
I have lots of shop owners always say that. if I could only win the lottery.
If I could only win the lottery.
Yeah. The other thing too is there's always fabrics that don't necessarily sell in the Midwest or where we're located, but they sell other places too.
Oh, yeah.
So it's one of those.
It's fun to see what's out there because sometimes you don't know what you're going to like until you see it.
Exactly. And it always looks different than on a screen or on a catalog. And Moda's always one of the only ones that does printed fabric. So you get to see the actual real fabric when you're ordering it.
That's really nice too, because you know what it's going to look like when it walks through the door.
And it will feel the same because it's on the same grade good as our other fabric.
Look at this grunge card. Look how many.
Isn't that amazing? And always adding to it. Something different for everyone.
There is just so much.
Yes.
And I wish I could have every single color. It's just...
Perfect. You can just drool on every single one of them. People oftentimes, they just pet them. When I show them, they pet. Yes.
Are we all the same? We all just pet the fabric when you show it to us? Yeah.
Yep. And everybody loves the feel, so that I get that often where they love the feel, so they love.
Yeah. Oh,
it's the Moda quality.
I just want to touch it all. I've seen a lot of fabric. It's kind of like overload.
Yeah, when you think it's sometimes it's about 1,000 new SKUs, 1,000 different prints every time. So
yeah, it's
and we
a
come
lot of
see
fabric.
it. What every 8 to 12 weeks we come and see you.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes. There's always new, always great fabric from Moda. So.
Yes. Well, thank you, Shelly.
Thank you. Have a great day, and we'll see you again in 8 weeks.
And yes, probably just next month, of course.
Yes, of course.
Very good.
Thanks, Doug. Well, thank you, Doug, for inviting us into your studio in your home and letting us interview you today. We hope you have continued success in the quilting industry.
Well, thank you. Thanks for coming, guys.
We invite you to hit the like button, leave a comment for us, share with your quilting friends, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and happy quilting!
Are you close enough?
Yeah. You want me to be closer?
No, not necessarily. No!
Good.
Goofball.